Open up the datasheet that you downloaded on the previous screen and go to the Spelling Scores tab. Here we see spelling scores for a single classroom. We're going to start by calculating an average, a minimum, and a maximum for those spelling scores. You can see here in this sort of purplish color the functions that we're going to use. This is kind of a cheat sheet so that you know which functions we're going to be interacting with. In this yellow box, we're going to start our calculation with an equals sign. Remember that all calculations in Excel or Sheets start with an equals symbol. The equals symbol tells Sheets that we're going to ask it to calculate something. Also note that I can see what I'm typing both right here in the cell itself and also up here in the data entry bar. I can see what I'm typing. I'm going to type the word average. It's not case sensitive, and then I'm going to open parentheses. As soon as I open the parentheses, I may see help information in a box like this about the function that I'm using. If I don't see that help information, if when you enter average you see this, you can click the question mark right here to force it to show you the help information. This help information can actually be very helpful. I need to tell Sheets what values now I want to average. And in this case, I know that I want to average for cells D2 through D16. Oops, I'm going to close that. D2 through D16. I can enter that cell reference in at least a couple of ways. So one, I can just type it. D2 through D16. When I type it, I can see the highlights that help me visually examine the reference that I've provided, and I can see that it got it right, or that I got it right. If I don't want to type it, I can also just open the parentheses, and then I can use my mouse to select these cells. And you can see that both methods give me the exact same result. When I close the parentheses and hit the return button or the tab button, I can see my average for those spelling scores. Sheets is asking me whether or not it wants to autofill down and give me an average for some other reference of scores. As it copies down, it's trying to be smart, but that's not what I want. So I'm going to say reject suggestion. And now we're going to repeat that process for minimum and maximum. If we look at our cheat sheet, we can see that the functions we're going to use are min and max. So for minimum, I'm going to say equals. Now Sheets knows that I'm going to ask it to calculate something. Type min. And I want to reference the same cells. In this case, I'm going to type them. D2 through D16, close parentheses, and hit return. And I'm going to do the same thing for max. And I can see that the function is called max. This time I'm just going to select the cells and hit return. That's how I can calculate the average, the minimum, and the maximum for any list of numbers.